ક્રૂડ આજના દિવસે ખાસું ફોકસમાં રહેશે અને માર્કેટને ડ્રાઈવ કરતું જોવા મળી શકે ત્યારે જ ગઈકાલે વિયેનામાં થયેલી બેઠકમાં ભાગ લેવા પહોંચેલા exim.com ના ઓસ્ટ્રેલિયાના CEO Peter McGuire આપણી સાથે જોડાઈ ગયા છે. Good morning, Peter. As you were there last evening in meeting, we saw there was so much uncertainty till last minute. How did you see consensus finally emerge?
Well, good morning. Thanks for inviting me on the show. Yes, it was a very long day. The ministers, they normally meet at around about 10 o'clock a.m. Vienna time, and they come and debrief at about 4 o'clock. It went to about 10 past 5, and then finally the ministers came down with the president and addressed the throng of media and press people and discussed as far as their objectives, what they're trying to achieve, and naturally the cuts. Russia as well, cutting 300,000 barrels, and in turn trying to get some stability to the market. And that was principally what the objective was. The cuts will be introduced, and then it comes down naturally to compliance to move forward.
Peter, hi, good morning. Do you really believe that the OPEC, the cut which OPEC has taken only because if they wouldn't have cut this time, OPEC as an organization wouldn't have been credible enough after this, and you know, after that the OPEC meet, there would be no triggers on the OPEC meet. We wouldn't have seen any price volatility in crude because of the OPEC meet.
Well, exactly right. I think OPEC needed to stand very strong in solidarity and in turn create an impression to the market that they're very much in control. It's fractured with many of the players of OPEC are having significant financial difficulties, as we know, from Venezuela and Nigeria, Saudi Arabia, Iraq and Iran. So it's an issue that has greatly affected the whole market, and naturally with the crashing pricing of oil over the last 6 to 7 months, and what we saw in January and February, there's been a major concern. Is OPEC in control? Anyway, they've come out and I think that they're very much in control of their own destiny, and they're trying to create a framework to live by and to be available as far as production cuts, and take their cartel to the market and demonstrate that.
Okay, as we saw last evening that before meeting only, Saudi minister were very much confident that without cut also there will be stability in market. Do you think crude oil demand will pick up in near term?
Well, I think you'll see those 1 million plus barrels of demand rolling out probably year on year, growth across Asia, certainly with India and China. And those frontiers are going to create, I think, more opportunities and naturally more demand. But the great challenge is, what happens as far as crude oil. If it goes up and you see it through $50, the Americans will start to produce more, I'm sure of that. Other market players will produce more. And we can't lose sight that, one of the great beneficiaries of higher crude prices is certainly governments and taxation. So whilst you look at what the producers, as far as their costs, the governments do very, very well out of it as well, as far as, taxation. So taking it all on board, I think that you're going to see, stronger demand over the years ahead. Where production runs and who's going to be in charge of it, well, that's going to be a very interesting context because of so many different players and new fields coming online like Kashagan, deep sea oil out of Brazil.
Peter, two questions. One, they said that the implementation and the compliance of all the countries, the OPEC members, how much they produce would be monitored. Who exactly would monitor and how would this be monitored going ahead? Also, because we are seeing constantly the inventories build up in US, you believe that there are chances, as Goldman Sachs and the other brokerage houses are expecting, the demand would pick up. It's a winter season, the demand would surely pick up, but after that, do you believe that the prices would sustain at $55 or more than that?
Well, first off, yes, the compliance issue is a great concern for all players, and naturally OPEC believe that they'll be able to self-manage the compliance aspects as far as keeping production levels at quotas that have been arranged. It's a mechanism that needs to be adhered to, and compliance is a very tricky subject no matter what market. But when it comes down to oil producers, it's something that needs to be very dearly managed and, more importantly, respected. The second point of your question, as far as inventories, yes, demand over the northern hemisphere winter. If it's a colder winter, you're going to see larger drawdown heating oils and so on. That's just a seasonality play. Where we roll forward to early 2017, what's going to happen as far as US? What's going to happen as far as the Fed raising rates, US dollar? All of those issues naturally will have to come into the picture. And leading forward, I think if you put your mind back 2 months, what we saw in Algiers, and that was a realisation that for OPEC to try and get some form of mechanism into the market and to appreciate cuts and production and trying to be unified. Look at the price swings since the end of September. You're up 20%, down 20%, up about 14%. Then it fell down, back down about 11 or 12%. Now it's back up 10% overnight, or nearly 10%. So it's a hugely volatile market, and I think the volatility will remain, and which is fantastic for traders. So that was the one question I wanted to ask. I was ready to get a microphone and make a couple of questions at yesterday's press conference, but I wanted to ask that: what exactly was OPEC trying to achieve as far as pricing? Where do they see value? And I think that's going to be the great movement as far as the consumer and traders naturally.
As we saw a big positive bounce in equity market yesterday in US, how do you see the impact on overall equity markets?
I think you'll probably see an uptick, because of that production cut. But remembering, have a look at everything's been very, very strong over this Trump rally, and it's a hard one to call in the sense where it's been very, very strong over the last matter of 4 to 5 weeks. So you're coming into Christmas. Let's see what happens over that period. You'll probably see a continued uptick. But there are many factors at play. If the Fed does raise rates mid-month, that could have a dampener as far as the equity markets. I think traders have just got to be very much aware and be very conscious as far as their time horizon and their risk metrics, what they're trying to achieve, and be conscious that these types of markets are very, very volatile, and that can be demonstrated with the price of gold over the last matter of weeks. Look at it now, 1160. It's down from the 3 weeks. It's down the best part of $150.
Okay, Peter, thank you so much talking to us. તો આપણે જોઈ રહ્યા છે ક્રૂડમાં જે અત્યારે પ્રોડક્શન કટની વાતો ચાલી રહી છે અને જે ફાઇનલી સહમતિ બની ગઈ છે એના કારણે એક બાઉન્સ આપણને વૈશ્વિક બજારોમાં જોવા મળ્યું છે, તેજી જોવા મળી છે. ક્રૂડે 9%નો ઉછાળો એક દિવસમાં દેખાડી દીધો છે અને આપણે જોઈ રહ્યા છે 50ની પાર અત્યારે બ્રેન્ટ ટ્રેડ થતો આપણને જોવા મળી રહ્યો છે. તો કહી શકાય કે અહીંયાથી એક બાઉન્સ આવ્યો છે. કેટલો આગળ ટકી શકશે અને હજી એની કેટલી પોઝિટિવ ઇમ્પેક્ટ આગળ ઇક્વિટી માર્કેટ પર સસ્ટેન થશે એના પર ચર્ચા કરીશું એક નાનકડા વિરામ.